Hi, I'm Chris Martirano, here with American Music and Sound and our great friends at Full Compass. I'm going to be showing you Nord C2D. Right now what you see in front of you is the C2D, which is an amazing organ, doing organ emulations of tone wheel, transistor, and pipe organ, sitting over the PK27, which is a 27-pedal pedal board. This is an awesome ensemble, whether you're doing gospel or you're doing a more Pentecostal service, or maybe even something even in the Protestant domain. I'm a Catholic choir director, so I'll be showing you a little bit how I would use this organ in my own services. So what is the Nord C2D? It's the culmination of excellent engineering. They studied many different tone wheel organs, and inside here you have several different models that they faithfully recreated through modeling. They also then faithfully recreated some transistor organs that were very popular in the 60s and 70s. And finally, they added a model of a French pipe organ. It is a beautiful model. In the design, they faithfully recreated a user interface experience that gives a user who's used to playing a tone wheel organ an immediate familiarity with the instrument. Some subtle differences, but for the most part, you have 2 sets of drawbars for the upper manual, 2 sets of drawbars for the lower manual, and instead of what was reversed white and black keys, you have preset buttons on the cheek block that allow you to quickly select different presets. On the original tone wheel organ, as you know, they had reverse black and white keys. While these were great for selecting presets, on the real organ, you had to go behind the organ and wire up 9 different wires to a series of bus bars in the back to create a single preset. They've taken, of course, all that work out of it for you here in the digital age. Also on the original instrument, if you were doing big hand swipes or playing on a dark stage, occasionally you might hit one of the reverse colored keys and change your preset. Although advanced players and players that are used to the instrument really avoided this most of the time. Anyway, on the instrument, we also have a rocker switch here underneath the lower manual that allows me to control a virtual rotary speaker emulation. In this case, a 122 speaker, really nicely emulated. The user has control over ramp time, over the treble and bass mix of how much sound is coming through the treble, how much is coming through the bass. And you also have some great feature control over this tone wheel organ modeling, such as key click. In a real tone wheel organ, as you press the key down, 9 different wires made contact with what was called a bus bar. This would result in some kind of a static noise, some DC offset, and it would create a small spark, and that translated audio-wise into this clicking noise, which became very characteristic and desirable in the sound. I'm sure the original designer wasn't happy when it happened, but us today who've grown up with it, we demand that it be there and that it be authentic. Also, they have percussion controls, so you can add your percussion sounds, such as your second and your third overtone, fast and slow decay, soft and loud. And also you have controls over how much of that you want to hear. If you go into the editor, underneath the hood, most all the controls are on the hood, but there's a few parameters under the hood. You can actually adjust how loud the percussion will be for loud and for soft, so you can make those adjustments. You can also determine somewhat the control over the fast and slow, speed of the decay of the percussion. If you don't know what I'm talking about with percussion, I'm just going to demonstrate it very quickly so that you know what I'm speaking about. I have no drawbars pulled out, so therefore I should have a silent organ, but I do have my percussion turned on, and I'm using the third harmonic. So as I strike a key, we're going to hear. If I go to the second harmonic, and if I adjust the fast-slow, this will now be a faster decay. And again, I have a volume control over how loud that'll be. So this is what I refer to when I'm talking about percussion. So what are the other faithful recreations? In the tone wheel organ, they faithfully recreated the overdrive experience. When you're playing a tube instrument, of which the original tone wheel organs were tube, into a speaker that also used tubes, the organ acted as the preamplifier, and the speaker acted as the amplifier. And when you gave more gain from the organ, you would both start to clip or overdrive the internal preamp and then also the external amplifier. In this instrument, overdrive works very faithfully. If I'm playing a little bit of volume with my pedal all the way down, we're not going to hear much overdrive, but as I increase the gain from the volume pedal, we're going to start to hear some distortion creep in, and this is the way it would work if you were overdriving tubes. So here's an example of that. If I make an extreme amount, just to demonstrate how it works, at low volumes it's very clean. As I come up in volume, you're going to notice that it starts to get very dirty. I love the fact that Nord pays this kind of attention to detail. Also on the instrument, you have something not found on the original tone wheel organs, which was bass, mid, and treble EQ. You also have delay lines with tap tempo button so that you can set some delay for some interesting things that you want. You also could choose to run the tone wheel organ through two different modeled amplifiers, a JC and a twin. And in this case, those are really effective when we're playing the transistor organs, as many of us back then ran them into a guitar amplifier. Anyway, outside of the tone wheel organs, just to cover the technology going on under the hood, we have these two transistor organs. One is based on a Vox Continental, one is on a Farfisa, and then we have this French pipe organ. So I'm going to just go through and show you a little bit in the gospel domain what the tone wheel organ can sound like for gospel style music. So just because they're a lot of fun, I'm going to show you the transistor organs just very briefly. Here's a Vox Continental emulation, and the user interface morphs when you select the different kind of instrument you're selecting. In this case, the interface, these drawbars, will be the drawbars that you would have found on a Vox Continental, and the last two, like you would on a Vox, will control overall tone. So one controls kind of more bass element, and the other controls a lot more of the treble brightness. So I'll just demonstrate by holding a note. You can kind of hear the little bit of steppiness that was also present in the Vox. So that gives you an idea. The interface changes. You also have a vibrato that you can select using the vibrato chorus switches to get that authentic electronic vibrato. I have it through a twin amp modeled right now and with a little bit of reverb on it. With the EQ, they're so dramatic, I could dramatically shape this right now in real time by just using a little EQ. If I scoop out the middle, and just to show you a little of the Farfisa, I want to really demonstrate how the interface works. The drawbars now become essentially toggle switches. So as I pull them out, you'll hear a particular tone switch on and off. There won't be any gradual change as a drawbar would normally give you, but rather a switch on and off. Right now I'm modeling this through a twin amplifier. I'm going to put it through a JC120 and we'll listen to what that sounds like. EQ is off right now and I have a Hall setting on it. I'm going to add a little overdrive so that you can hear a little of the crunch that those amplifiers would have added as well. You can hear how the interface right away, you hear the switches clicking in and out. This is very characteristic if you were to make those kind of changes on the original instrument. Here's an example of the French pipe organ. Thanks again for watching. I'm Chris Martirano. If you need more information, go to fullcompass.com or check with your sales professionals.